There we go. Hey everybody, this here is a little shot of Grafton success, some rind grafts and cleft grafts that I've done this spring, and I'm going to go around the orchard here and I'll show you what made it and what didn't. And that's Matthew.
How you doing?
He's my Grafton sidekick. This here was a golden russet that I put in, and it looks like all four. I put these in 4 rind grafts, so it looked like all the rind grafts took on this one. I have 2 trees. I have one tree up there that's not grafted yet that I was thinking of putting a Baldwin into, and I have one down there that's not grafted that I was thinking of putting a Ribston Pippin in. And I would have grafted them this spring, but I just couldn't find the trees. Now this here is an old-time orchard, so this is all hay field, and all I do is mow a little bit out around the trees, and if things work out, we'll make the hay off of this piece, and then we'll take it and pasture sheep or something like that. There's, I think, if you look down there close, there's some sheep down in there somewhere. And here I put 4 rind grafts in, 4 there and 2 cleft grafts down here. And it looks like, well, the one cleft graft over there doesn't look all that great, but he's got some leaf coming out of him, and the rest are growing great.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, those are all growing good. Let's have a look. This was one that I grafted into last year, and I had 4 grafts in this one. My best one was right here, and one of the products working at a museum is we have a lot of school kids, and this was the best one, the straightest one, the one I was going to leave as the tree, and these were I was going to cut out later because they weren't as great, and then of course somebody come along and broke that one off. So hey, good reason for doing more than one graft. If a couple fail, they fail. If somebody happens to break one out, I still have 2 other ones that I'm hopefully going to prune into a tree. And you can see those are growing. Those are growing out and away pretty good. And this one here is a red Astrakhan, if I remember correctly. There's 3 here in a row that was grafted 4 years ago. So, and that one there is a king, and I was hoping to see some blossoms this year, but I didn't see any. So next year should be our blossom year for the first time. I've never ate a king before, so I'm quite curious to see what that's going to look like. And then up through the hay field, I just come down with the scythe and I mow a little circle out from the trees here to open up the spot under the trees so the tree doesn't hit too hard, with the grass doesn't take too much of the nitrogen away. Now this one here, not as great. Now it looked like all 4 started growing, and I would say something is munching on them leaves. Whether it be a caterpillar or what, I don't know.
You can see it's gotten the rest of them up here too.
Yeah, they've been up here chewing on these ones, and this whole tree is hit pretty hard with something. Oh, I don't know what's been chewing there. Winter moth maybe, but you can see he's gnawing through the leaf pretty good. I don't know, a little yellow fuzzy something or other.
Exactly.
And how do you like that for a scientific name on something? But even if they hit this initially and the chewing's over, I only need one of these to grow. So I'm hoping I see this one here didn't make it. I don't see anything coming alive on that one. These 2 are growing somewhat, and this is, well, I wouldn't be too optimistic on that one growing. So I'd say 2 took there and 2 didn't. So let's keep heading on up the row here. This here I was given and named as a russet. I have no idea what kind of russet, and I guess I won't know until it produces an apple onto it, and then we can start to figure out what kind of russet it is. This one here, oh, that one looks like it's growing good. This I put in as a cleft graft, and you can see quite a bit of new growth onto it. It's growing away. Both of them are growing away really nice. No problems there whatsoever. Yeah, both of those took off pretty good. And this here is probably they say one of the most famous English apples of all, and this was the Coxs Orange. I would say that is a plum curaco that's on there munching away, and that'll be the end of him. And the rest of these, I put 5 in here. Something hit the leaves on this one and burnt the edges quite bad. Could have been a late freeze, hard to say, but the rest look like they're coming. Like say, out of these I only need 1 to grow. I'll leave them all in for a couple of years until I see which one's going to take off nice, and then I'll slowly trim the other ones back out of the way. And one other little one down here. This was probably the one I had the most hope on. I had a northern spy grafted into it, and the cow got loose and broke it off last year, so I grafted it back over to a Grafton. So if you see this one here, normally I wouldn't just graft into a stump. I believe in leaving a nurse limb, but where the cow had broke it off, I didn't have any choice. So, and this one here, all 3 that I put in there look like they're growing away good. And there's some of our sheep down there in the pasture. Hopefully they come out, because knowing my luck, they'll run right up, and the first thing they'll do is eat the 3 leaves off of this one. That would be my luck.
Yeah. Do ants bother the trees then?
Ants don't bother the trees so much as they, from what I read, they bring aphids up and put aphids on the tree and then milk the aphids. And the aphids do the damage to the tree. This one here is, if I remember correctly, this here is a transparent, a yellow transparent, and this is one I grafted in 2 years ago. And you can see this here was put in as a double cleft graft. One gets smashed out, didn't grow at all. The other one grew. The beauty of putting 2 or 3 in at one. If one fails or something happens, at least you're. And this one here looks like it's getting halt good. A couple of years, you'll hardly ever know that was grafted in. And look at the growth it put on. This here was the growth that it put on last year or the year before, and this was the growth that it put on last year. And hopefully she'll take off again this year.
Amazing.
That one there is growing into a nice tree. And that's about it for this piece. Here's a couple. There's an older yellow transparent that we have, and then our older Astrakhan, and then I have 2 pairs up in there growing. And it's just a little shot of the farm on a June evening.